What's up, everybody? My name is DJ Jordan Nelson. Today I'm coming to you from the DJ's Guru to tell you how to connect your ApeLabs lighting fixtures to a DMX controller. In this case, the ADJ WMX1, and we're going to do that via the ApeLabs Connect. ApeLabs lights are already super versatile and very full-featured, even just using the built-in app that comes with them and running the standalone programs. But if you can pair these up with a DMX controller, you can unlock a whole new world of potential. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to set up the lights in the app to work with the Connect as a DMX transmitter. I'm going to show you on the WMX1 how to import the fixtures and group them into different fixture types. And then lastly, I'll give you a demo of the controller in action and show you all of the different functionalities that the WMX1 offers. Now, before we do that, make sure if you're not already subscribed to the DJ's Guru and following their content that you do so, because you're not going to want to miss everything that they've got coming in the future. But enough about that. Let's dive into talking about the ApeLabs Connect and how to use it to hook our fixtures to our DMX controller. First and foremost, why would we want to do this? The ApeLabs fixtures, as I discovered in a previous video on my own channel, are already so awesome even by themselves. One of their main benefits is that you don't have to use DMX to get a really awesome show out of them. But as anyone who's been in the game a while knows and who does a lot of lighting production, you get a lot more customizability and control over your fixtures if you choose to pair them up with a DMX controller. And so it's really nice that ApeLabs offers that functionality. You can break away from their ecosystem and integrate it with other lighting fixtures, or even just create a standalone show using just these lights. Now, the Connect is a really, really great piece of kit, and if you don't have this with your ApeLab light already, you definitely should pick it up. It's got super long wireless DMX range, and you can use this as a connection point between your DMX controller and all of your lights. The only wire that you're going to need is a DMX cable to run from the Connect to your controller. Everything else that we're going to do in this video is going to be wireless. Now, before I put the camera overhead and walk you through the setup process, let's talk about what we're using in this video. So we've got a couple of the ApeLabs cans right here. We've got a couple of their mini fixtures. We've also got a couple of the maxis. And then off the screen, we have a pair of the neon tubes, okay? So 8 fixtures total. We're going to set these up in 4 groups of 2, so each fixture type is going to have its own group on the DMX controller, and we'll talk about why that's important in just a moment. Now, the WMX1, if you're not familiar with this, is a really very straightforward and really easy to use DMX controller. It has built-in fixture library. This is an old model. I've had this for a couple years now, it feels like, and it already had all of these fixture profiles built in. I didn't have to go download anything new. There's hundreds on here. And so you're really, all you have to do is use the touchscreen right here to find the lights and select them, put them in the groups. It's very straightforward. And by the end of this video, you'll be doing it yourself. So let's throw the camera overhead and I'll walk you through how to set up the app on your phone so that the Connect can be used as a DMX transmitter. And then we'll put the camera over the WMX1 and show you how to import the fixtures and put them into groups. The first step of the process is going to be to hook up our ApeLabs Connect to the WMX1. So I have a DMX cable here. Let's see, get that right here. Where is it? Gotta make sure our cable's right. There we go. And then we're gonna go up to our DMX output of the WMX1. Now there's multiple outputs on the WMX1. I'm using letter B because that's the first 3 pin on the controller. Okay, so we've got these 2 connected. I'm gonna power on the Connect. Again, this is all battery powered, which is great. And then the first step to use these as DMX transmitters is going to be to open your ApeLabs Connect app. So I'm going to open that up here. All right, so we've got our apps. If we go down here to devices, nothing is turned on right now. But because I've used the Connect before, and if you've already used this, it just is automatically linked up to the phone. I don't need to do anything once I turn it on. So I'm going to take the first fixture, which is this can, hold down the power button and turn that on. You can see that it appears right here. Now, I've got this in group 3 from when I was just using the remote in the app, but what you're going to do is you're going to go into edit this fixture, and you're going to put all of the lights you want to use with DMX into the same group. So I have all mine in 3 right now. You've got a few different modes here. You're going to mostly choose between 4-channel and 8-channel mode. This controller has up to 512 channels, and I'm only using 8 fixtures, so 8 times 8 is 64. I'm not even going to use close to the full universe, so I'm just going to have mine down here on the 8-channel mode, which gives me the most flexibility over settings. So I've got that. And then we're going to set our DMX address. Now, what you address your fixtures to is going to be determined by your WMX1 controller right here. So when you do this part of the setup, you can come back here and choose the DMX address. So you can just click on that and type it in. So we had this one at 9, and we'll just we'll say that we'll hit apply and go back, and you see we've got DMX9 and it's in group 3. So you're going to one by one turn on all of your different lights and make sure that they're in the same group and that you've got the DMX addresses set up to the appropriate number. So now if I come over here to the WMX1, let's see how we're going to pick which address to put things on. So if you've never used the WMX1 before, this is how you import fixtures. On the home screen, clicking home right here, up in the top right, you're going to see this little moving head icon. If we click that, that takes us to our fixture setup. Now, I've already got all of my lights imported into the controller. Now, if you want to add a new light, there's a little plus symbol right up here, and this will take you to the fixture library. Scrolling through, you can see we've got a ton of different manufacturers here, but what's nice about ApeLabs is that it's an A, so it's right up at the top. When we go to ApeLabs with the left knob, the menu over here will show all of the different models. You can see the Ape Coin, the Maxi, the Mini, the Stick, and the Can, which is what we're using today. So I can scroll down and select one of these fixtures, and then over here on amount, you can use the right knob to change the amount that you're using. So we're using 2 of them, so I would change that to 2, and then I would go up to the top here and click Add 2. Then you're going to choose which channel mode you're in. Again, we're using mode 3, which is the 8-channel mode, so we'd click that, and then you're going to put them into the group. Now, you can have up to 8 groups right here by default, A through H. I've just got 2 lights in A, B, C, and D. So let's say we wanted to put our cans in group A, we would select group A, and it would add them to it. Now, I've already got my 8 in there, so these are extra. So if you ever make a mistake, this is actually a good tutorial. You can select both of these and hit the trash can icon up here to get rid of those fixtures. So we'll delete that. So now you can see, once you do that for all of your fixtures, I've got the 2 cans, the 2 minis, the 2 maxis, and the 2 sticks or tubes. And if you have picked the right channel mode, it's going to automatically assign DMX values in order. So you can see my 2 cans should be on 1 and 9. My ApeLabs minis should be on 17 and 25. That should be their DMX channels. The maxis should be 33 and 41. And then the sticks or tubes should be 49 and 57. So what's nice is that you don't have to look up in the paper manual or in your PDF manual, like how many channels do they each use, or what do I need to start the DMX on. All you need to do is hit the plus icon, find your light model, select how many of them you're going to do, and it will automatically choose the right channel. So now you would take this information, you would just have this open, pull out your app, and as you set up each of the fixtures, put them in the same group and choose their DMX channel, just make sure that they correspond to these numbers right here. Now let's jump back to the ApeLabs app. Once we've got all of our lights pulled in, okay, let's say I don't have it all set up right now, but let's say we did, and we want to start using this Connect as a DMX transmitter to all the lights, we would just go down to More right here, and then go to DMX Transmitter, and then we're going to do Group 3, which is where I'm going to have all my lights, and hit Enable Transmitter. Now that the transmitter is enabled, the colors on my lights changed, and these are ready to be controlled via DMX. So actually, if I put this right here, okay, just so you can see the light, and then I go back to the home, let's see if I can get this set up here. There we go. Stay, don't roll. There we go. Go back to the home. It's going to take a sec to refresh. And then I've got these on A, and I go to color. I should be able to change, there we go, the color of my lights. You can see it's practically spontaneous. So once you have everything turned on and everything in the appropriate groups, they'll all respond in that manner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and turn on the rest of my lights, spread them throughout the room. We'll change the camera angle, and we can see what the WMX1 can do with ApeLabs. So now that you have seen the whole setup process for the WMX1, let me put the camera in an angle that will allow us to see the entire room. I'm going to spread these fixtures around the room, and then you'll get to see kind of a zoomed out image of the controller, but mostly what the effect is on the lights themselves. And so you'll get to see how this allows you to expand beyond music mode and create something more unique. All right, so now I've got my WMX1 set up right here on a table, and we've got our lights spread around the room in the back. The cans are over here, the neon tubes are over here. In the back, we've got the minis and the maxis. Now, this is the home screen of the WMX1, but just as a reminder, if we click the little moving head icon up here, we can see all of our lights set up 1 through 8 in groups 2 per A, 2 per B, 2 per C, and 2 per D. And you can choose what groups you put them in. I just wanted to group them by fixture type. When I go back to the home screen here, you can see those same groups, A, B, C, D, going from left to right. And each column represents one group of fixtures, and so by pushing buttons in the same column, it will control those lights. For example, if I were to go to the color section of the WMX1 and go to group A, which is my cans over here, I can change the color of the cans only while everything else will stay the same. Now, jumping back to the home menu, there's a little bit more to see here. You can see that we've got this top row of buttons right here, which will turn the fixture off and on. You can black out lights individually. You also have a dimmer knob right here to be able to control the brightness of individual fixture groups or turn them on and off. Below that, we have the ability to do a blinder with individual colored or individual groups of lights, so you can kind of just jump between different lights and turn them full white and full brightness, which is really cool. Below that, we have the ability to turn on the color effects, which is the included effects generator that will make awesome color patterns with your lights. We'll get to that in a moment. This last or second to last row here is grayed out because these are the move effects and these are not moving headlights, and so there's nothing to move on them, and so we don't use this row of buttons. And then at the bottom, we have the beam effects, which is where you do things with the intensity of the lights, and we'll get to that effects generator in just a moment. Now, this screen up here is touch, you can touch it, so if you want to like access things or turn them on with the screen instead of the buttons, you can absolutely do that. Now, let's go down the left side first. After home, we have the color effects, and this is where you really get to expand beyond music mode and create a lot more different variety in your effects. So right now we've got this rainbow pattern up here, and to activate it on a group, you just click the buttons right here, and that will turn it on all of the different groups, or maybe just one group. Right now I've got it running on everything. And the rainbow mode is going to fade between different colors. So right now I've got these two selected, but I could select, I don't know, those two, and now it will fade between those. And then our encoder knobs at the top, their function changes, so we can slow the speed down with this first knob. We can put the lights in and out of phase, so now they're all going to do it at the same time, but if I turn this to the right, they will kind of go out of sync with each other and create a wave. And then we've got the fade time between that, so if you want it to be like a sharp jump, like that is right there, or to the right, the more to the right, the longer the fade will be. So a lot of different customizability right here. You've also got other color effects. You've got like a sparkle right here. You've got like a chaser effect right here. This disco effect kind of bounces between two different colors, which is really cool. And there's a whole lot more that you can customize that we couldn't cover all in this video. The move effects are not used with these lights because we don't have any moving heads or scanners, but you would use that if you did. And then the beam effects is actually where you get to create patterns with the intensity of the lights. Again, this feature, this effects generator is really powerful. It creates these in an instant, and previously, if you used a hardware DMX controller, these would take hours to program. So I'm going to actually go back to our color effects and turn them off, and I'm just going to turn these all on a single color. We'll just go like that. And then what I'm going to do is go back to the beam effects menu, and this is where we can create patterns with the intensity. So let's turn this on everything, and you can see we've got this really cool fade in and out. We're not changing the color, we're just changing the brightness. We've also got the sparkle here, and we've got the chaser again, and the disco, and the heartbeat, all sorts of fun things. Again, same customizability things with the encoders and the screen right here. It's also worth mentioning that you don't have to just use the encoder knob to select a speed. You can click this and change it to a beat, which you can tap the beat of. So let's go to the disco, and that's a better example. So if I tap this, tap, 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 you can see that now the lights are matching the tempo of my music. So if you've got someone running this board, they can tap it and sync everything up. There's also a built-in microphone if you want it to automatically detect the music itself. This works better with a subwoofer, but it is working a little bit with my tapping. So you can choose how you want to do it based on whether or not you click that encoder knob. So that's the beam effects and the color effects, which is obviously one of the big selling points of the WMX1. Now, if we go down a little more, we've got individual colors right here. So this is where you can say, like, I want my tubes to be blue, and there are UV. Let's see, I'm gonna actually change this blue, and then I want my my cans to be red, and then I want my minis to be blue as well. Okay, and so you can select those individually, or you can make everything the same. Let's change that. There's 4 colors on the first screen, and if you click the knob like you see me do here, it will change to a second bank of colors which are available. And you can apply them to individual lights. You can apply them in an every other sort of pattern. Again, there's a ton of functionality. We can't cover it all, but that's how you get to the color picker. The position we don't use, no moving heads, nor do we use the gobo. Down at the bottom, there is a shift button, which will let you access, if you hold it, secondary settings. And if you read in the WMX manual, you can learn about how to use that. It's a little beyond this entry-level video. Now, there's a lot of buttons on the right, which are also really powerful. This button right here with the ADJ logo at the top adds a really cool sparkle effect that's great for buildups of songs. If we hold this, you can see it just jumps randomly through and does this really cool intermittent strobe on all the lights. And then there's a strobe button right below where we can flash everything all at once, which is really cool. And it will keep doing the built-in effects underneath while you're doing that, which is awesome. Let's add a couple more colors in here. We'll do some white and some red. Yeah, that looks cool. Red, white, and blue. Jumping back to the home, going down here, we've got our ADJ button, our strobe. We've also got a blinder. So if we click this, it will turn everything on full white. So if you want to do like a flash to your crowd, you can just hit that with the beat of the music or crank it on if you need to get someone's attention. Really, really handy feature. And as you push and hold the blinder button, you can see there's different options here with these buttons. You can set a time for it to fade out, so instantly on and off, or you can have like a 0.2 second fade out, or a 0.5 second fade out, a 1 second fade out, or a 2 second fade out. So you can really control how that responds. You can also set whether this button is what's called a flash button, where a momentary press turns it on and off, or a toggle, where each press will either turn it on or off. Sorry, my WMX1 is falling off its mount here. And then let's see, we'll go back to our blinder. There's also a 1 second timer, a 5 second, and a 10 second. But I like the flash button the most. I find that that's the best. And we're going to put that back on the 2 second fade. There's a speed button right here where you can momentarily double the speed or half the speed, whatever you've got it set at, or 4x it, and you control that with the left knob here, or 8x it. So like if you've got it set to the beat of music, you can hold that speed button down and like slowly ramp it up. Freeze, half speed, 2x speed, 4x speed, 8x speed, really work it with the beat of the music, which is nice. There's a blackout button, which if you hold, turns everything off. And I have mine set up as a freeze button toggle, so I just have to click it once and it will turn on and off. We've also got a smoke button right here. If you attach a fog machine or a haze machine, this can be programmed to turn that on and off. And then at the bottom, we've got some presets. So you can save scenes that you like and put them into this menu right here and recall them. So if there's an effect that you've created that you're like, oh, I'm going to use this over and over, throw it in your presets. That is pretty much the vast majority of the basic functionality of the WMX1. Obviously, there is so much more to discover here, but with that alone, combined with the ApeLabs Connect, you should be able to create amazing light shows and add a lot of variety to your production. So there you have it. That is how you connect your ApeLabs lights to the WMX1 using the Connect. It's honestly one of the easiest DMX setups I've ever done. ApeLabs has really streamlined the process and made it very straightforward, and the WMX1 plays a big role in that. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below and hopefully we can answer them. And I hope this video was helpful to you. Make sure again that you subscribe to the DJ's Guru and ring the notification bell so that as we release more educational content in the future, you don't miss out on it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.